Hi, and welcome to Swearing Ukrainian with Margo. As usual, we're gonna start as it is, and folks usually some join us on the way, and some join us later listening to podcast. The first order of business, just let me know. Do you hear me right? Hi, Violet. So just let me know. Hi, Terry. Just let me know. Do you hear me? Is the connection going through? Because we had different stuff with happening with sound, as well as with Wi-Fi. But yeah, so just keep letting me know if you want to. Also, if you're new here, yeah, thanks. I'm seeing some zaps, so I'm kind of guessing all is good. And if you're new here, so my name is Margo. I'm from Kiev, born and bred and raised, and Kiev is in Ukraine. Just in case it doesn't ring a bell, but I kind of assume if you hear it does. And here we talk about swearing. We do talk about Ukrainian swearing, obviously, but we also do talk here about swearing in general, whatever it means to every one of us, but also it kind of means about, letting out your um, darkest side. I also really, really, really love, and I want to start with that because I usually start with you guys. And if you're itching to join me, and talk the baddest swearing you use this week, please stay with me. I'm going to give you the space for that because this is what I'm here for, to let you rant and vent. And also, if you're listening to this in a recorded stage, please don't fret. Please feel free to share how much you sweared, like if you swear this week and what you used. You can use comments or even direct message for that. I always love to know what helped you. But I just wanted to start with saying we had this talk with my therapist, and I'm sorry, it was osteopath because I have both. That's what gets me through. But she really said that, and I really enjoy that a lot. And I think that's not just something that I as a Ukrainian can use and other Ukrainians, but that's just generally what we humans could use during, let's be honest, quite tough times as they are right now. She said, my great osteopath, Natalia, she said that the resource is in the shadow, whatever that means for you. And I think this, the anger and the darkest, what we consider a darker side, and that will be something very special for each of us. But if you want to take something from today, probably I would love you to have this thought with you that maybe something that you push outside of yourself or maybe repress, that might be your biggest resource. When I say resource, you can understand it however you want, but I basically mean your fuel to some extent, right? So if you feel in burnout, if you feel that you lack, just lack, fuel to go through your day, maybe you don't have war like we do, but certainly each of us, unfortunately, will be quote, quote, blessed with some amount of grief and trauma and really traumatic events and hard things to pull through. And so we all at some point will lack that fuel. So, and the idea is that you might look into your darker part, whatever again that could mean for you. So it could mean, allowing you to be aggressive, and that's also something that we talk here about. That's allowing you to swear once in a while. I'm not talking about, using swearing as a coma. I'm not saying like okay, I need to change that word after my friend from being a coma and died. Then coma doesn't sound that neutral anymore. And yeah, the laugh is nervous. That's a coping mechanism. Anyway, so I'm not urging you to use the swearing words instead of any other words. It's not about trying to show off as you kind of quote being tough. Being tough doesn't have anything to do with swearing all the time. So, but I think we kind of passed this point, considering that we're meeting and seeing each other each week for more than a year now, which is very special for me, I gotta say. But this is about allowing yourself to let your frustration and anger out when it's justified, and even when needed, for it being allowed to being thrown in the face of those who wronged you. I mean, like just recently, I had this I had this moment, just like brief moment, when actually, someone I know, you can say someone could I consider a friend or like at least a close acquaintance, right? I hate that word, just hard to pronounce. So, and this person is a man. He actually kind of reached my space. So I went out of like we were in a cafe. I went out of the bathroom, and the man decided he can, just fix my hair, and I was like, no, 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 like I was rude, but like because like the person breached my like not only my you know how to say my not limits, but my boundaries, but also kind of like because person did something that I don't feel comfortable this person doing. Like this is not the level of our closeness, so to speak, right? Because I kind of feel that the one like maybe my girlfriends could fix my hair, my relatives could fix my hair, like my sister. I wouldn't say my mom, but that doesn't go well since she also dead. I'm a fun to be around, I know. A lot of dead people anyway. But also like I don't know, my partner, my boyfriend, like somebody I'm in relationship, like maybe someone I'm flirting with, probably after some level of my trust, but like that's what I'm talking about. I mean, like I could have even used a swearing word if I wanted to. In this case I was just really like, I think I think you could go for the word rude, but because I thought the person was rude to me. And I gotta say, I couldn't do that, I think, even a year ago. Not precisely, about the person. I'm not like, that's not the question here. It's more about like I think I I would have a longer time of reaction, between the moment when my boundaries I believe are broken and when somebody, unjustifiably behaves towards me, even if in a very small way. And I gotta say here, the smallest ways, like the details, where these small things like well, maybe I shouldn't be angry about that. This is the most important part, I believe. Like if you like this feeling in your gut that you're being wrong, but you kind of like, especially for me as a woman, like I find it really really often happen in a past when I'm like, no, I shouldn't be, that was just a bad joke, I shouldn't be angry about that. Just recently, like I had a lot of angry moments, I gotta say. Recently a lot, but I'm really I'm proud of my angry moments now. I mean, like when I say angry, I mean like that when I'm protecting my boundaries and protecting the way I believe I should be treated. And we also had this moment, like I was friends and there was this just guy in the bar who just was kind of passive aggressive to me, even though I haven't talked with him. So I just kind of went to get my drinks, waiting with my friends. And there was just some passive aggressive stuff the person said, like asking everybody who's everybody, like where everybody's from. And everybody's like, somebody was from UK, somebody like my friend was from America. And I'm saying like I'm from here, but I'm saying it in English, and you can say that like I do have accent, but it's not a very usual Ukrainian accent that I have, and so it's not obvious that I'm from here. And the person just goes like, it's been out, and I started like, and I snapped right away. I'm like, I even haven't controlled that too much, but I was like rude but controllable. Like, I'm a man. Like, what do you go in there? And like the man immediately went into calling names and saying like, I'm not looking for a pussy. Like immediately being dirty and rude. And I immediately went to the very, like, I just said, like, fuck off. Just fuck off. Shut the fuck up. I haven't talked to you. Like, I'm seeing you for the first time. Like, I don't know you. Like, and just, like, don't talk to me. And then, like, everything just sorted out okay. We kind of were on the verge of the bar fight. Unfortunately, for some, I didn't have a boyfriend. So, but, like, ending up, but that's I also using that all that. So and this is like, and I immediately went like describing his to my friends like he's a pig. And okay, I hope you hear me all right, because I had a certain connection loss, but let me know. But yeah, I know it sounds like there's a lot of aggressive episodes, but it just like, for me, it was, I think I just kind of felt like sharing with you, because for me, it was a really dramatic change in terms that before that, that will like there will be a long time that will like that will go from the moment when something happened like that, when I feel like I don't like the word, but let's say like the boundaries were violated. I don't really like that. Like it's creepy sounding, but you know what I mean, like right. And like when I wanted to, to say something back, right? How to have a comeback, but I realized that an hour ago, a day, an hour later, right? Like a day later, I had these situations when I realized how wronged I was at the point, like year later, like few years later, I was so pissed because the moment when I could come back with whatever, with a word, with a slap, whatever was justified in the moment, it kind of went away. And after a year or two, it's just like you look like a psycho, honestly. Like I feel I do, like I like remembered you're wrong, like what the fuck, girl. Like where you've been listening to all this, but no, I haven't. It just kind of dawned on me probably after some, I don't know, realization changes, maybe some therapy I've been through, maybe some events. So but that's why I feel the broader talk about allowing yourself to swear and allowing yourself to be rude, especially like for everybody. I'm not trying to be sexist here, in no way. I mean, like all of us are different, but I just, as like, I don't have experience of what is like to be growing up as a as a boy, as a man, but I do know how it is to growing up as a girl. And boy, do we have a lot of this expectation of us being nice. Even like I never had expectation of being nice being brought on me by my parents, but I just ingrained it from everywhere, from like, oh, you should smile more, oh, that kind of thing. We all should smile more, but I mean, like, why nobody tells it to boys? I mean, right? We all do need to smile more, like that's a good idea, but that's the whole drill. So for me it was really revelating, and just like I feel this is so important. I actually had a girl like coming like after that, like after the second situation, and it was harder because it kind of was like my friend in a way, so he was kind of in my circle, so to speak, in the broader circle. But it's harder to be rude to these people, right? He wasn't a stranger, but I still kind of just snapped immediately. I was so proud, but I was proud of myself, but I haven't thought even about that. And this is the magic of that. This is why it's important to let it out anyway, because you cannot become free in a second. You cannot do that in a second. That's a process of you kind of owning your shadow self. I know it kind of sounds like we going into this magic zone, but I'm like, that's called in therapy, it's called shadow self. You can call it a dark self, you can call it like alter, whatever works for you. But that's where the power is. Like if you, like I said it in the beginning, I had a bit more people join us just now, so I'm just repeating that because like that's something I want you to bring home after, like after we done, after this end, after like I push end of the space and it's like recorded, like that's, and I think I'm gonna be coming back to that. And I think this is something, and I would love to hear your thoughts on that. But I think this is all of this podcast, all of this thing is actually about that. It's like about letting yourself out, letting out something that is there, but maybe you pushing it further down there somewhere because like somebody along the way told you you cannot be bad. And I have this saying I really love that my friends from Donetsk use, it's good to be bad. And when I say that, I don't mean in this psycho evil monstrous way, right? I mean exactly what I say. I mean, like allowing yourself to take all the space you need, especially most of the time, it actually doesn't get in the way of other people too much. It's just allowing yourself to be okay. I'm passionate about that, okay, because this is something I'm working on too. But I just wanted to, I just wanted to share that and just to give you a thought, right? To give you a thought to when this podcast ends, maybe just to give yourself a few minutes and kind of do this search and like see what exactly you feel is your shadow self. Like, what exactly do you feel you're repressing? Like, what exactly you're not allowing yourself to manifest. Also sounds like we're going into this coach therapy way, but I'm very like, I'm having my therapist since 2018. I had a pause for some way. I had a huge depression cause a bit after a while the full scale started. Like, I was in a really deep dark place, and I got out thanks to my great therapist. I was able to find things like, thanks Oksana, but also like thanks to the work and thanks to the attention to this part. And so yes, I'm passionate about that, and I think everybody should, because it will be just a better place for each of us. So getting back to our podcast and giving giving you a space where you can vent and share how your week was. So I'm just getting it back to the topic. So that's basically what we're talking here about, and I always love that you join me for that, and we have a chance to have this Sunday talk where we kind of revisit how do we communicate our needs, because this is basically about the needs, right? And when they're not met. And I haven't finished that part of the story. I mean, like, when I told off that guy, like, I just really, I was really good. Really really quickly, just like, no, 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 you don't do that with me. No, no, like, that's okay, but this is like, no, this is borderline. And that's okay, right? The person didn't know that. And yes, he was a bit hurt, but that's okay. But he didn't ask like, can I touch your hair? like because I would say like, no. And I had this girl, like, so she's like a friend of my friend, and she was like, wow, woman, you were awesome, like, that was so cool, like. And she went on for a while about that, like, and I suppose, like, first of all, I was very flattered, but also, like, I think because that could be a hard point for her. And it was so humbling, but also cool to know that I wasn't, like, somehow, after, like, I had so many situations when I couldn't stand up for myself the way I wouldn't want it. And it still pains me, like, that I wasn't there for myself when I needed it. But here I was, and it actually even set an example for somebody else, and maybe will, I don't know, inspire her. So I guess that's it. I'm just really proud of allowing my shadow self to kind of get out. And the interesting thing about that, and after that, I will give you space to vent. um, so if you wanna join me and share how your week was, you wanted to try out some Ukrainian swearing or share your own swearing, like, that's your moment to prepare. You can send a request, like, using the mic in the bottom left. But the thing about that, like, if any of you, like, for example, listen to me think, oh yes, Margo, that's cool, but what about, like, after, like, I am being real, how it works? Well, I'm gonna tell you how it works. So that moment with this rude man, like the stranger, right, on in the bar, it actually ended, like, all the thing that the fact that I reacted, like, that I basically lashed out on him, like, that I answered back. And even though, like, it really escalated quickly, escalation also sounds now really specific. Anyway, it escalated quickly, and really escalated quickly. But what happened, which I realized later, that the thing that was actually a conflict, right? It was, so if I didn't talk back, I would think, like, okay, yeah, I'm like, I would be feeling like there's a dump kind of, like, made at me, like there was hit in my border boundaries, and I allowed that to happen. I would feel hurt, but I wouldn't be able to make out why, because I had situations like that. And I hope you didn't, but I'm kind of thinking you also had at least one situation like that. Like, when you feel bad and kind of be less than you are just because some asshole told you some stuff that you tolerated just because it kind of happened. But the fact that I answered back, and also I was blessed to have a friend near me who actually stood up for me, like, just immediately. And so instead of just having a traumatic, like, small but still traumatic episode, I actually had a moment when I felt super powerful. Like, I felt so, in my power because I told back. And like, and I told back, like he told back more, and I just continued like, fuck off. Like, no, 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 I'm not tolerating that. Like, this is about showing that you're not tolerating that. This is like, it doesn't matter which words you use. You could be, using absolutely non-vulgar words for that, but this is still like, no, 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 you cannot do that with me. And my, like, I saw how good of a friend I have, like, right. So it strengthened my friendship. It showed me how how good of a friend I have, like, in me for myself. And also, like, and then escalated. It actually a fun story, because there were men who didn't understand that we actually were insulting, that talking back to this guy who insulted me, so they thought we insulted them. And so we had at some point 10 men who were actually like getting back to us and like, who do you talk like that, they're like, Polish. Anyway, it was yeah, but but in the end, everything ended well, and I felt like I'm in a movie, and I had all this commotion because I talked back, and this is very symptomatic. So that, like, just talk back to a man, and all the men are worried, but it ended okay. Nothing happened, and I went out like more powerful after this. That's when somebody tried to breach my boundaries and take actually my resource, because this is, in the end, this is about that passive aggressiveness and all this stuff about insulting, is because somebody tries to dip into your energy and like take it. And so, but I talked back, and I took it back, and I took some of his, and I went out like just really energetic, and like my evening was awesome, and it's an awesome bar story since then. So my point here is like, if ever any of you have, especially girls, women, if you listen to me right now, if any of you were worried, like, of course, listen, of course, I'm talking about safe situations, right? I'm not saying like talk back when you feel it's dangerous, like you're in an alley somewhere, and like, no, 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 no. I'm talking about safe situation. That was a super safe setting. I was surrounded by people. It's a public place. It was like I had friends all around me. So no, no, no. Like, don't be a fool. But when you can, don't be too shy either. So like, if you're worried, that's like, who's your friend, they will understand, right? Everybody who's your friend will understand. Like, I had this moment of problem before, because I thought, well, maybe I'm imagining things, maybe he wasn't no, any of us know in our gut when we are being, when somebody just hurt us, when something was intentionally hurtful. Of course, there are different situations. Like, but let me tell you, somebody will tell you if having things in your head. Like, at some point, you will discover that if you're like, imagining things. But mostly we do not. Mostly we know exactly when we were insulted. And I'm not telling, shout out at people. I'm not telling, like, saying fuck off immediately, but I'm just saying calling them off, like calling them out. You know what I mean? Like, you're just saying like, no, no, why do that? That's what I go for. Like, why you thought that's okay to tell me that? Like, why? What's your intention? Because that was hurtful, and I like did like that was not needed. And believe me, if this person is okay, they will just go, oh, I'm sorry, like, I didn't mean to. But if they're not, they will immediately spiral into a place where you can call them a pig. Well, that's my experience. So that was a passionate speech. Thank you for bearing with me, and thank you for sending all your reactions. And I feel very seen. Unfortunately, it kind of feels that you know what I'm talking about. So I'm afraid we have a lot of situations like that. So that's a sad point. The good point, though, is that I'm hoping it will kind of give you an inspiration to talk back in case to put somebody in that place in case they want to think that you're too nice, like, so you're so nice that you could be treated that way. No, 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 no. Like, that's my babes is what, and that I'm talking to everybody of you, like, I'm calling all of you babes. So, but that's ultimately, I feel, is why you come in here, and why I'm coming here to this podcast, and why I started it, and why I was so passionate about this. This is not about being allowing yourself to say who, like, or dick or cunt. Sorry, people from North America. But this is ultimately about allowing yourself to believe when you feel you're wronged, and to call it, to talk back, allowing yourself to talk back, in whichever form you're feeling comfortable, but like, allowing yourself to do that, and allowing yourself to escalate when needed. I'm not throwing "fuck off, don't talk to me," "fuck the god," okay, I'm confused. Okay, I'm not using that as much as you would think I could, since I'm having this podcast. I'm not throwing that around, in city. I think, in fact, I'm not sure when I was talking so much of, like, just shut the fuck up and, like, get the fuck out of me. Get the fuck. Okay, how does it work? Get the fuck out of. Okay, it did work that time. I'm confusing it now, but I mean, that's a bit strong even for me, but the fact, I think, and I think maybe you guys also helped me in a way, in terms that I was having all this podcast with you and talking about that. I mean, like, you see, like, I was one of those girls who was told that you shouldn't be swearing because you're a girl, you shouldn't be smoking because you're a girl, you shouldn't be drinking vodka because you're a girl, and also, like, why just wear girl clothes? Why, like, why you don't smile more? And I think I still had this feeling that, like, it's not nice that I'm, swearing still, like, to some extent. So it's still kind of the mountain I need to climb, like, and I'm in a process. But the fact how it just all happened in these nearest days, and I would say I'm not in my best shape to some extent, right? I lost my mom, I lost my friend, and you could think, like, well, that you should, like, I should be not in resource to even talk back, to be able to, deep into that, like, inner resource to fight back. But I did. And I think that's precisely because we haven't all this. So I think something changed in me also while we having this podcast. And I'm honestly, okay, I'm really passionate today about that. Sorry. Sorry, your time is coming a bit later, but it's coming. So I'm like, I feel that I also owe it to you in a way, because we having all these great talks, and your stories influence me, and I'm holding your stories dear. I'm telling your stories to my friends, like, oh, I have this, I have these listeners, and they reach out and they told me a story how they use, swearing in their practice, or like, yeah. So I think, drop by drop, it also kind of changed something in me, because I didn't have that superpower before. Let me tell you, like, that was cool. Like, that was cool even for me. I mean, like, if I saw that before, I thought, like, wow, she's cool. And now that she is me. So yeah, that's this high point. I'm gonna check the comments, you guys. And because I saw some. Okay, so as Jay shared, men who disrespect women's boundaries are creepy. Yes to that. When women are touched by men whom we have not given permission, that is microaggression. That's interesting. I haven't thought. I thought, like, I'm not justifying that in no way, but I just think I don't think that that person thought of it as an aggression, although it though felt like one. No, it actually felt like I was attacked when I was a kid. It was my sister. Thank God they weren't monsters. They were just creepy men, but they weren't monsters. So nothing really happened. But I was, I think, traumatized, and I do react, and, like, I do not like when men I do not know or do not know closely touch me in any way. So especially those who, yes, as I agree with this, Jay, like, whom I haven't given permit whom I'm like haven't given this, label, like, okay, they can do that because, like, he's my good friend, or, like, he's like my, like, the brother of my good friend, like, whatever permission it is, like, something, because for me it's about safety, because my feeling of safety was really breached when I was really little, and, like, I really need to, like, trust person. So yeah, so I don't think the person was aggressive, though. I think just, like, men kind of, like, I think people have sometimes really vague borders, boundaries. So they think, okay, I can touch him, I can touch her, whatever. Maybe it's also a bit of like question of respect, but I do know it doesn't immediately mean that the person thought like they could do that to me. But it doesn't mean I cannot say like, no, 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 no. I don't know what you think you can do to people, but you cannot do that to me. And I think the harsh part here is not to be afraid, you know, to lose someone, right? To kind of lose a friend, for example, right? Because you've been rude. So, and it's actually a hard point here for me. So I think I haven't thought of that because like my alarm system, kind of like my boiler alarm system reacted like faster than I. And so I haven't even thought. It was like, just look, no. And then I like, yeah, I mean, like I like the thinking that that could be, you know, socially bad or something, and how good it like that all came so much. It was also in public, so we were kind of in a queue. So like, you know, it's so it potentially, you know, I'm humiliating someone in like a good thought. I'm thinking about stuff like that. Oh, okay, I shouldn't, you know, talk bad to person if I want to have a talk because they could be, you know, seen as public humiliation. But it just happened. Yeah, but yes, I agree. On the receiver's side, I do believe this is close, not aggression, but like it's close to feeling a, you know, a mild sexual assault. Very mild. This is a very, it's not appropriate words to call it. So it's definitely not, you know, not assault. I'm not trying to portray it like that, but I think it's how I feel it, right? So like, because I immediately go like, okay, man comes, like he's bigger than me, he's like, you know, touching me, like blah. Not because all men are bad. It's just like why it's like I immediately go to this very scared place, and I do know that the person didn't know that. Maybe person thought we are as good like as friends. We could do that. There are many men I actually met who like really vague on the like touchy side, like how much touching they could do, not in a creepy way, but I mean like, you know, hands, whatever, like so I do realize it could be about differences, but that's what I'm saying about, right? So um, whatever people feel they could do to you, like to me, to somebody else, that's our job to communicate back. Like, no, 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 no. Like that's the thing. And Janina says, some people have told me I should smile more, wear makeup. Ugh. I hear you on that. I hope I'm saying your name right, Janina. Yeah, I see request as Jay. You're gonna be right up. You're coming right up. So I hear you on that one. Okay, I'm reading. Coming to the next. I usually answer for you. How about you let me pick your clothes so I would feel better and not care about how you feel? Oh, sorry. Oh, that's good. That's a good comeback, girl. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. I love that. I do love that. Love. Okay, that's a message. Can be delivered in many ways, says Janina. Sometimes I'm rude, sometimes I'm nice, but firm. But the message is the same. I do things for myself and not to please anyone else. Oh, bravo. I so support that. So if you want to tell, answer Janina, she's in comments. That's a comment under this podcast, so just under this space. So feel free. But I so if you want Janina to join and share, feel free. But I so agree with that, and this is a good comeback. I'm gonna you know pick it up. Like I'm gonna use it. Okay, if you don't mind. But that's a good thing. Yeah, I think like I don't think I was told I should wear makeup or something, but I did heard a lot of like different versions of like I should smile more, or like why I don't smile, like or why I don't do anything. Well, that phrase usually, of course, like no women ever told me that. That's always was coming from men in different situations, not from all men. Thank God. I'm not telling all men are like this, thank God for everybody, but and for the world. But yeah. But whenever it was a situation, if there were men, and usually they were older than me, and they thought they, you know, could do like, oh, cutie, you wah wah, like that kind of thing. And like I think only when I became, you know, really like I think like older and just felt like I have power to, you know, to talk back, and like a strength, and in a way status as well. So all of that together gave me a feeling that like, and I can really talk back, because I think when I was younger, I would kind of integrate that. So I would feel they're wrong, but I wouldn't really talk back. So it took me a while. So bravo to you, Janina. This is a great example. If you need a great comeback line, check the comments. Starzy shares, as a victim of a say, okay, I assume it's a sexual abuse or sexual assault. I don't think I'm good on terms, but I'm sorry to hear that, and also thankful you're sharing. I absolutely agree with what you're saying about people touching. Right, right. Again, sorry for so sorry for your experience, but again, yeah. So I wasn't like, I think my experience started with, I wasn't sexually assaulted, so to speak, but I was in a very dangerous situation as a kid with men surround, like, who technically probably like assaulted us both, but they assaulted us for the money. The whole thing was really weird because they actually, it was in the middle of the day, and we were actually kind of public space, so we weren't like, technically it wasn't super dangerous situation, but there were people, I don't think, I assume men, but I don't know, actually I don't remember, but they were just watching. I remember as a kid I was standing there and they didn't do anything, so it ended okay. They even left us money for the ticket back. It wasn't in Kiev, you see. So they were. I think what pissed me that they thought they're gentlemen. Like they assaulted. There was actually like kind of violence happening, and they just like, oh yeah, oh no, here's the money. So coping mechanisms. Anyway, getting back to that. So yes, what I mean is that I thank you for sharing your experience. Thank you to you all sharing experience, and also listening to mine. And I agree. That's the thing. I think that's the thing about breaching anyone's boundaries, because we don't know what experience they had prior to that, and maybe something that is absolutely like just. I had this moment when I was like, and somebody like, oh, Margo is just does like, she's not a touchy person. I actually am very touchy person. I am. It just, I just need to want to touch these people. That's all. I mean, like, I love to hug people very much. I love to hold like a hand of a friend, or like, or maybe a kid of a friend who needs support. Like I'm not maybe super touchy, but like, but I'm just. It really, the context is very important. But also, like, somebody could be having this experience again with some kind of sexual assault or abuse, and like that could be feeling so much differently. I really am help like I'm really, again, thank you so much, Starzy, for bringing this up, because this is a very great example of what I mean. I mean, like, that's something could be not just trivial, not liking to touch people. Something might be so more, more deep and problematic. And maybe even person works with that, but it doesn't change like the fact that you just triggered something very dangerous, that person needs to deal with, and you haven't asked. And not you, like some, right, someone. And that's why, on one hand, like, definitely we should be aware of that, but on the other hand, that's our job to communicate that back. That's our job to say no. Like, that was rude, that's my borderline, like, that's my boundary, and like, you just like don't treat me like that. And like, and if you need actually that rude person, I think the fact that I was using so much, that I escalated it so much to the shut the fuck up and like get the fuck away from me, actually helped, because I kind of felt like at the moment that I had, like, I had just guns like immediately, appearing in both of my hands. And I'm like, whoa, the person goes for pussy, like the wording pussy, trying to insult me. Like if I'm actually onto him, that's what the man was trying to do. Like, oh, I'm not interested in you. I'm like, so that's what the strong swearing words are good for, because they just immediately, could help you just charge the whole situation. And again, I'm talking like about being mindful whether it's safe, in terms of like, if you can punch people in the face, please can proceed, but like, just also need to be aware like how safe it is on in the physical realm as well, not just mental. But that's it. Okay, I'm gonna pause here, and I'm gonna let SJ join us. And while SJ joining, I just want to remind you that if you want to share how your week was, like if you want to vent or rant or like share your favorite swearing that you used this week, again, check the mic in the bottom
Okay.
left and let me
Yeah.
know. Yes. Hello,
Hi.
SJ.
Yeah, I was having a little. I was having a technical difficulty moment. Um,
Okay.
but
Each of us have sometimes.
well, I just came in from outdoors because after 10 o'clock it's too hot to be outside.
Right. Texas
Yeah, it
weather.
sucks. Uh, and anyway, but I was going to say about microaggressions. Those are actually insults or slights or behavior that is derogatory or insulting, and it's not necessarily intentional, and it's often towards women. And one of the most common things that is cited is, "Oh, you should smile more."
Oh, fuck. That triggers me. Like, I know we're talking about that. It's like, I'm sorry, I just was on the receiving side. Like, oh, fuck, that triggers me.
Yeah,
Actually, I'm really sorry, everybody who heard me today.
no, but that is every woman can relate to that
Yeah,
because
you should smile more.
and it's like, oh, fuck you. That's what you just want
No,
to say.
there is a covered version every time. Like, no, like, I don't mean to offend anyone who ever written me that my smile is beautiful, but honestly, I always feel that's it's intro, that's an intro to you should smile more. Because in my life, like people would go like, "Oh my, your smile is so beautiful, you should smile more." So for me, like basically, when people compliment my smile, I'm kind of like,
Well, it's like everybody looks better when they smile, but you don't have
yeah,
to
I
do that all the
know.
time.
No, no, like I mean, when was the last time like I never heard anyone tell it to
Yeah,
boys or
no.
men. Like I don't know, maybe maybe men here like who listen to me have different experience, but like never in my life there was a boy near me like with cute smiles. Like I've seen boys with cute smiles, but I haven't seen anyone telling to a boy like, "Oh, you should smile more." Like I don't know, you SJ, have you heard it? SJ? Okay, I lost SJ. It's Jay. Oh, you're trying to unmute and mute microphone. I see what you're doing. Okay, I don't hear you. Maybe somebody else hears us, Jay. Oh, probably that's the difficulty we're talking about. Okay, you know what we can do? You can, okay, maybe that's maybe on my side. 1 second.
Hello. Oh,
On that moment, like, have you had, I don't know, have you been near a boy or a man who've been told you should smile more?
say what? I don't know. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, what about now?
Okay.
Do you
Yeah.
hear me?
Now we're back. It's like that.
Okay.
I lost the
Okay.
connection.
Okay.
Uh,
It's okay. Oh, yeah, that's the patriarchy. I don't know.
it's Elon.
Elon. Yeah, but yeah, my point is like what I was saying that I haven't heard or like seen like I haven't been near a boy or a guy or like a man who've been told they should smile more in the same like context. So I think my point was like maybe I'm the only one, maybe everybody else like have this experience, so maybe mine is unique.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
no, I have not. I have not ever seen that, and even you know, I know a lot of gay men, and they don't say that to other gay men.
Right?
It's like no, that's not a thing.
That yeah, that's my point, but it kind of sounds like I'm pretty sure that like let's put it this way. I thank God hadn't had a lot of people who told me that, so I'm not telling like everybody does it, but like whenever it happened, I'm pretty sure if I'd ask this person like why the fuck like the like why it's happening, I'm pretty sure that the man, or like, well, usually it's men, like
Yeah.
in my life usually it's men, like who old, like somebody who's older than me, and they feel they have authority to talk down to me in this um like not like mm,
It
not Angela. I'm not sure about the
it's
word, but like kind of making me
yeah.
smaller way.
Well, it's
Like
to make sure that you know that you are less than they are.
in a way, but I'm not sure they wouldn't think of that this way. I mean, like I'm pretty sure like if I tell that, they will go like, oh no, they just like you're beautiful with your smile, like
Yeah.
whatever,
Well, and it's
like that's the
that's
thing.
an objectification thing where
Well, yeah, I mean,
it,
uh,
it, it's it
yeah, I agree.
it's like women have to be it's like our purpose in life is to look nice so that we can attract men. Well, maybe we don't want to attract men, and we certainly don't. It's certainly creepy for somebody to just say, "Oh, you'd look so much better if you smiled," and you just and
Ugh.
at that point you just want to kick them in the nuts. Um,
Okay, we need to. I just realized we need to wrap that. I feel that it really triggers me, and I'm really sorry I
okay,
repeated that
but
much today. I'm sorry, it probably triggered all of you. My
but
child, I'm
yeah,
sorry, but yeah, but I agree. I agree with you. Like, and I want to stress here. I want to stress that I was blessed not to have many, experiences like that in life. So I wouldn't say like I've met and I'm surrounded by great men, like great women, like whatever, like great people. So that I'm not trying to say all men are doing this to me, like, or to us,
no,
but definitely some of that experience is there. Anyway, so but I agree, it's interesting. I think I haven't heard of the term microaggression. Like, but that's a nice way to put it. Oh, by the way, I have a more comment. Susa M adds, Susa Silta, rarely do the ones telling us to smile more give us any reason to smile. That's a good one. Burn. That's a good one. I so agree. That's actually usually the case. This is funny though. This is a good comeback. Good comeback, Caesar M. Please, anyone, like save it in your mental, like mental boxes for whenever you need a comeback. That's a good one. Like if somebody like tells you smile more, you could say like give me a reason to smile. You and then you can insert whatever you feel is appropriate, coming from like whatever to pig, whatever fits the situation. You know the drill. But like, I think it's a good comeback. I would love like
yeah.
to see what this whatever have to say.
Well, and, one of the things that it came to mind was a situation, and this was back in like 1980 or 81. And I was in Washington, D.C., and I was going to graduate school. And we went out for pizza and beer, at a local
Okay.
dive. And
What is
uh,
dive? You mean like it's the name of a
no, no,
place,
no.
or
It's
like
a dive is a place that is, I mean, they got cheap food, or it's just kind
okay,
of it's a local
okay,
place that's
cheap
yeah,
tables, maybe sticky
yeah,
tables.
that kind
Okay.
of place.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so
Okay.
there's 8 women at this table, and we are,
Okay.
we are engaged in conversation, and just generally having a good time. And this guy comes over to our table who has obviously had a few too many to drink, and
Okay.
he says, "Well, I see you ladies are alone."
Well, that is a bad
Uh,
pickup line. Like that's really a bad pickup
yeah,
line.
well,
This is
and
just
yeah,
unprofessional. That was
well,
unprofessional.
stupid. And anyway, um, and then he wouldn't. We told
Oh
we
my god! I'm sorry. This is just
well, we
hilarious.
told him to get lost, and anyway, he persisted, And
Whoa.
anyway, and then so he hurled what he thought was an insult at us, and
Okay.
he
Okay.
said, "Well, I didn't know y'all were lesbians," and we just cracked up because and we just and at that point. One of his friends who said, "Oh my God, these women are going to kill him." Uh, he came over and got his friend, and he said, "I'm really sorry. I'm taking my friend
Right.
home. Sorry for the interruption. Have a nice evening."
Right,
And
right, right. Well, that's yeah. Thank you. Like, I wanna give a shout out to men who do
yeah,
that. I mean, like, that they take their drunk and really
obnoxious.
insulting friend, obnoxious friends, and like and say sorry for them,
Yeah.
and then all that this ball drill. So like I like unsung heroes of drunk extravaganza of their friends. Like, I really, that's my thank you to everybody of you guys. Like, that's like, I actually had situation like there was recently there was a thing that actually a girl verbally tried to insult me. I think because she was sad, it was in the funeral of our friend, and she was clearly like sad, but she tried to really really weirdly insult me and like implying really dirty stuff. But the thing is that her friends, men friends, by the way, so thank you again. Like, I'm not being sexy. They actually took her. Like, oh, I'm sorry. She's like, what are you doing? And just brought her somewhere. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm not like in this situation. I kind of feel the responsibility, like that I've been told soy by a more adequate person
Yeah.
in this group. So I'm not holding grudges.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel that I need to do something with this person. So I'm like, but yeah, but like, thank you when you do that. That's a really needed function. Like, to be there and take your drunk friend and like just say sorry, he's stupid or she's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just a quick thing. I see another request, Andrew. You're gonna be
Okay.
next. So I see that. Don't go anywhere. Yeah. So that's a beautiful story, SJ. Like, I really enjoy that, and I'm gonna pass it over. I think that's beautiful. That's a good one. But that's like, oh my god. I've had people, like, I've had men coming up to me saying like, I see you're alone, but I was really alone in that moment. But like, telling that to 8 women, man, this is like just stupid. Like, if you ever will try to come, like, if men listening to me right now, you ever wanted to try to come to a group of women who are like more than one, like what a group means, don't don't tell them this line. I mean, there are many lines, many ways to do that. Like, be mindful, like, do your homework, like, prepare, please. We appreciate good work, right?
Yeah.
Right, we do, right? Like, we appreciate good work. Coming up to 8 person saying, I see you alone, this is just bad homework. Like, this is just disrespectful pickup line.
Yeah.
Just like, anyway. Like, I'm stopping here,
Okay.
but that's beautiful. Thank you. But how was your week? How
Um,
was your
it,
renovation?
well, the renovations are done, but it's too damn hot to clean up anything.
Oh my god, it's done and we haven't celebrated
Yeah,
it.
well,
Like,
I have to say, I'm
I would
waiting till it gets cooler to celebrate because,
like in winter. I don't
well, I
know.
don't know. It's like there's. I'll put it up on the. I'll put it in the comments somewhere. But there's a sign on a restaurant here. They have one of those portable signs that you can
Okay.
change the letters on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
anyway, there's one that they did last year that is just perfectly appropriate. And this was in May. This was
Okay.
in May of last year,
Okay.
and it said,
Okay.
"Be sure to drink plenty of water and go inside before 11 a.m. until November 2nd." And they were not far off because it's
Yeah.
hot,
Shit.
and
Yeah. Well,
so anyway.
do you drink plenty of water? Do you drink? I see. I hear glasses. I assume it's water, right?
Oh yeah,
That's
I'm multitasking. I'm emptying the dishwasher.
okay.
That works.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Okay.
but
Okay.
and
But
yeah,
yeah.
it's just it's just, and I'm constantly drinking water or tea or, something, and not alcohol, because then you get more dehydrated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's just stupid hot right now. And
Yeah, but I taught you how to say that in Ukrainian, and it hurts me. You don't
what's
use
it?
it.
Wait.
Like,
Oh,
you
Yobani
taught me.
Peklo.
Yobane peklo,
Yobani Peklo.
yes. Thank you very
It's like,
much. Yeah, everybody, yobane peklo is fucking hell in Ukrainian.
it's definitely.
But also like, but also because like pekti is like to burn, so it's literally like not just hell, like assuming it's hot in hell, but also like it actually have the meaning of like something that is burning or where it's really hot. So that's ideal. So if you, I hope not, but if you have the same problems or similar that as Jay's having with weather, Jobana Paklo is for you. Use it mindfully. Okay, so what was so the one last one, and I'm setting you free. What was the most you swearing this week? So I'm sorry, I need to say that properly. Have you sweared this
Oh,
week,
absolutely.
my dear, my
Uh,
child,
yeah.
my
And
child?
it was like, you know, um, Yobana Rusnia all the way around.
Oh, that's your favorite.
Yeah.
You're sticking to it. Yeah, it's just
Yeah. It's
like,
like bad drivers, um, stupid political crap, you name it. It's like,
yeah, I just love it so much. Like I've been telling everybody that I have this the great listener from Texas who is using yobanarusna instead of like fuck, and basically combining psychologically in minds of people yorusna was just something fucked up. So because technically you see, like if you don't know it yet, those who listen to us right now, yobanarusna is technically translated as fucking Russians from Ukrainian, but SJ evaluated this, so she's just using it instead of like fuck. So, and I appreciate that. Like, SJ is our ambassador of Yoban Rusna, like swearing in Texas. So feel free to reach out to her if you're nearby. She will tell you all the drill.
thank you.
Thank you for
Okay.
that. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Okay. So just a quick moment, Andrew. I see you and I'm joining in. Bob, I see you too. You're gonna be next. And also while Andrew preparing, just checking the comments because okay, so we have comment from we've been trying to reach you. I actually love this account name. So El Arroyo is an Austin gem. Okay, so El Arroyo, I suppose it's restaurant. My soulmate is out there somewhere pushing a pool door. Okay, I didn't get it. I feel really weird right now because I usually get the jokes, but I'm sorry. I'm embarrassed to say that. I didn't get it. But tell me if you get it. Anybody who reads it in comments, let me know. Okay, Andrew, you're on. Hi, what brought you here today, my child? Have you sweared this week? You should unmute your mic if you want to start speaking, Andrew.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Andrew.
I didn't notice that there was a microphone. Um,
It's
what
okay. It's
what
okay.
brought me is I just got the notice that there was a live event, so I wanted um, to ask. And there's been a very nice, lighthearted mood, but I have something a little more serious, or I just want some information. Um, when the Russian boots are finally gone, I want to come to Ukraine and I have some finances. I would like to know what would be the best way to. I would like to come to the east, like to Donetsk or
Mm-hmm.
Kharkiv or Luhansk, the places that have had the worst of it, as far as I can tell. Would Are the government still intact so that I could maybe go to the town hall, or are there churches? And of course, I'm retired American, and I don't know any Ukraine, so I would need someone that speaks English. But what do
Mm.
you all recommend? Because I'm coming no matter what. I'm getting
Okay.
on a plane when all the Russians are gone. I'm flying into Kiev and I'm going to take a train as far east as I can go. And I need to know if I have to
Mm,
stand in the middle of a square with money or with paper or
mm.
with anything. I'm coming.
Listen. Well, first of all, Andrew, first of all, I wanted to thank you, for your thought and for your readiness and, for, yeah, just, even for joining us today and share that. Second of all, you surely, like, if anyone who's listening to us right now wanna, add something, maybe add something in comments, maybe reach out to Andrew and share, you can do that as well. But if you ask me, so I would say this. Well, first of all, I will not try to romanticize or sugarcoat it, okay? That's 10 years of the war now. Whenever somebody tells me when Russian boots are out of Ukraine, and I suppose what you mean is like out of every places of Ukraine, right? So like that we restored to the borders of 1991. Well, maybe with a bit of Kursk region. I'm joking, but like we kind of restored to the moment when it was prior to invasion of 2014, and the war is, so to speak, ended, which, let's be honest, we all like it, like it's not working like that, since we will have, like, it doesn't just end in a second,
Certainly.
but still, let's assume you mean that. The thing is, we all talk about, about the end of the war, kind of like New Year's resolution, like, oh shit, not this year, maybe the next one. But when it just started in 2014, it's okay if you want to laugh at that, like that's to everyone, like it's okay. We have jokes like that in Ukraine a lot. But when it started in 2014, uh, I don't think if anybody told me that it's going to be 10 years after that and we still have it, and it's actually escalated to this extent that I need to hide from North Korean missiles coming into my city. So I wouldn't be like I wouldn't believe that, I think. But we are exactly there. And I'll be honest, I know that you guys want to cheer for us, and probably like, and you do cheer, and it's probably a hard truth. But the hard truth is, like, we have no idea when the war gonna end. And by that, I really mean that we don't have any idea, like, when it's gonna end. And when Ukrainians plan what they're gonna do after, like, it really ends, I know it's the thing that supports us. Like, it's just like, when the evil is gone, I'm gonna go to my favorite spot, whatever. But when foreigners tell me that, and I'm saying that, lightly, so I'm just like somebody who is, not need to deal with that in the country. So um, I really don't know what to tell you, because it's not like we're talking about next year, or like I don't know what we're actually talking about. But that's just the timeline problem. As for the and as for the your question, like what exactly you feel is needed, that comes directly after the first is solved, because it really will depend on what will be the situation. We have, like, Bakhmut. We don't have Bakhmut, for example, a lot. Like we have settlements that you know the names of, but they are
Hmm.
non-existent. So you might want to come to restore them, but maybe it will be more
Sure.
useful to come to other
Right.
places. And you mentioned in Donetsk and Luhansk, but right now they're occupied. We don't know. We literally don't know how exactly it's gonna end. But the reality is, and that's why it kind of saddens me. I'm not reacting usually to that this way, because I appreciate any support, but when people tell me we're gonna come when it ends, I sometimes want to say that it's not gonna
Right.
happen. That's the
Right.
reality. So it doesn't mean that EU needs to come when it haven't, so to speak, ended, because I know that, like, it, because it's dangerous, like Kiev less dangerous but still dangerous, like East obviously more
Right.
dangerous. And I cannot in any way, ask people of that if they don't feel prepared for that. But that's just why that's a long answer, because if that's the setup that you want to come after it's over, I really don't know what to tell you at the
Right.
moment. But I will tell you that if you want, like, you can reach out separately, and I will try to put you in contact with initiatives that the my experience of what's happening. I know that people from abroad really love to reach out to big, so to speak, credible organizations. Like, people love to say, I don't know, anything like UN or something or whatever. In my experience, it might be more effective to get in touch with smaller groups on the
Okay.
ground that do precisely some kind of work,
Hmm.
maybe helping with food, or maybe helping with settlements, or maybe like, something that might be not seen, as, from abroad, as much as you would see, the Red Cross or
Uh-huh.
something, but something where you will see immediate result, right? Helping some, maybe giving support for the volunteers who help the kids, maybe giving the support for volunteers who help the animals. I don't know, like, there are a number of initiatives who help with the food in this frontline territory. So, but the thing is, I cannot tell you that right now because I have no idea
Okay.
what's gonna be of these places when the war ends,
Well,
whatever that means. That's the sad
right.
reality. We might lose more cities, we might not lose them, I don't
Right.
know.
Well, I'm trying to be sensitive to what the American government says and the State Department, because as it is now, they do not recommend Americans going there, and I wouldn't go there anyway. And I do appreciate what you're saying regarding the quote unquote true end, when there really is freedom and safety within the Ukraine borders. So, you know, I could easily, and I have thought about uh, going to Kiev, which I understand is somewhat safe, at least safer than the east, and
It's
then
this, I would say, yeah, it's the safest part, more or
and
less.
and
Yeah.
uh, and obviously there'd be a lot of resources. There'd be a lot of representation of these small groups, I would assume, or at least there'd be some network that I could work through. Um, but in terms of the speaking English, uh, will that be a problem? Uh, will it be more
Well,
of a
well,
problem in the East? If it does
uh,
come, will it be easy to find English speakers in Kiev?
I would put it this way. So, there is a number of volunteers and international journalists who are you can easily now find in any bar in Kiev.
Okay.
So I know, like, maybe not any, but I mean, like, those that I go to. So I mean that they and there is a well, they're not there all the time, but they
Okay.
constantly here because of the movement of the vehicles for the army, etc. There is also like the same happening to smaller extent, let's say in Kramatorsk in the east. Just recently I had like people I know returning from there. So it's a process. It's not something that you can tell me right now, can ask me like what's going to be needed in 5 years, in 2 years, in 1 year, like even in a month.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
certainly we
that's
don't.
absolutely, that's the thing. And like I couldn't tell you right now what is going to be there. So yes, do people in Ukraine do speak English? Yes,
Okay.
you most likely will be able to
Okay. Good.
find either somebody who speaks English. Like, I'm Ukrainian, I speak English. Well, not everybody speaks as good English as I do, but we
Well.
do speak English. We learn it in schools and universities. So it will be, of course, easier if you knew basic Ukrainian, absolutely. But I know it's, a tough thing. So you probably will be able to find someone. A lot of Ukraine, especially on this more ground level, right? It's happening through the very direct personal contact. So that's maybe something not similar to what I've seen in the West,
Okay.
because the in the West the power of papers and bureaucracy is stronger than personal contacts. In Ukraine, personal contacts are stronger than paper and bureaucracy. So like through personal contacts is the easier way to actually get access, not access, but I mean like to find out the people.
Right.
And once everybody has the trust of everybody, so that's how it works. But in the end, what I want to say is like, quick answer to your question is like, any help works. You actually, there is SJ sharing, as Jay just shared, World Kitchen. I
Hmm.
know they're doing a
Right.
lot. Like some others, like the others, like Sheen volunteering in Ukraine. Like somebody sharing. Okay, so United 24, like Starsy sharing. Like that's the thing. Like you can do that, but I honestly love to support smaller initiative. Like for example, just to give you a quick example, I'm not saying that you need, directly run and support us, but just to how it works. So, like for example, we have a small initiative. Like I have a teacher, we have a class from Kherson region, and I have one like specialist in art therapy, and I have my listeners, send me support, direct donations. So we already had like number of sessions for them, and we're gonna try to continue in September. So technically, we don't have the name of this organization. Like I don't have the big name of this project. We don't have a separate website, so we're just doing that, just few of us, but the support directly goes to these, our therapists, and that session happens, and there is no, and that is done just in this, by these few people. So, and there is a lot of this stuff happening like that in
Right.
Ukraine, which will not be seen from space, but where you can directly do that. Because with all due respect, United 24, that's great if you people support them, but if you can choose support a small organization, right, that doing some good
Okay.
things, or support this bigger one, I'd recommend you choose the small one, just because the support will quickly get to, just because they're smaller, they are more mobile.
Certainly.
Because that's my whole point. I don't want to disrespect anyone's support. I don't want to disrespect any organization. My point is just like, I think this is just something unusual from what I've seen in the West, and this is just something that I constantly try to remind, that try to go for the smallest possible
Okay.
initiative,
Yeah.
because that's the quickest and easiest way actually to know that for you, so that what you give in is reaching
Right.
the
Well,
recipient.
thank you. And part of my plan, uh, you probably realize that um, Americans get a huge flood of requests from foreign places, probably 99% of which are not legitimate. So part of
Okay.
my interest is because I want to make very sure that what I'm giving is actually going to what they say.
Absolutely.
And the second part
Absolutely.
is, after watching the horrible pictures of the brutality there, I want to replace those with the pictures of smiling Ukrainians who are
Mm,
that God is helping to get
thank
healing.
you.
So
Thank you. Thank you.
part of it is somewhat selfish. I just want to
No,
experience the
it's okay. I
so
mean that I'm
but
good. Like, well, I'm not judging. I
oh, I
mean, like,
understand.
as long as we getting something, please be selfish. Be my guest. That's a
Yeah.
kind of selfish I enjoy. Be my guest,
So
Andrew. Quick answer to your concern. Well, I assume you haven't communicated with any of Ukrainian volunteers, but I would say we have more and less nerdy volunteers and how organizations behave, but the usual basics. And this is something that you can also hear from my followers, that the basic level is that like even with the kids, right? So we have the screenshots of this, like I'm showing the screenshots of these sessions, so you can we understand the sessions are kind of private, but we having the the pictures they doing, and like I would say this is a combination of you trusting and you like finding the organization you can
Right.
trust, and you trusting that they are doing what they're saying, but also like that's absolutely okay to ask like to provide like photographs, if like photograph reports and any kind of depth of report that you wanna
Right.
have. So it really depends on the specifics, right? So like if you have any receipts, it could be receipts,
Uh-huh.
right? Like if it's something was bought, right? If it's something brought to people, you could ask for photographs or even video, like whatever, like it can be discussed, and this is the way that. And also like mostly if these organizations are okay, they also value their like credibility and their reputation. So mostly I'm not saying just trust anyone, unfortunately, around the cause. I've seen number of suspicious accounts. They usually are not big. They usually are not organizations. They're not doing anything, but they kind of trying to look like Ukrainians. There are not many of them now, but like I'm like yes, I'm not saying like trust anyone like you don't feel good about in your gut,
Right.
but also there will be a need of certain amount of trust, because this is not to go to supermarket and get something. So sometimes you don't have that much receipts or
Uh-huh.
something, so sometimes you do have them, but this is something that you can expect from organization. So like that's a basic thing, like
Okay.
you can say like can there be, mostly people know about that. You can try and ask about that, but mostly people know that they need to provide, well, at least some kind of report
Uh-huh.
back,
Okay.
like we brought this, yeah. So that's the basic extravaganza
Right.
of all of
Right.
this, yeah.
And just finally, there
Yeah.
is a tremendous amount of what's in the press and what is broadcast out of the United States in regard to the support for Ukrainians. And I I don't know how many people here are in the Ukraine, but I hope that they are not fooled into thinking that there's any large number of real Americans that uh,
Okay.
assistance to Ukraine. The, those that you hear that oppose it is a small number, maybe 30%, but most Americans are uh, and hope that the Ukraine recovers its independence and its strength and can become a world leader. And
Thank you.
and also, I hope that you will accept our apology not for not defending Ukraine. I'm very sorry.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you. Bye. But one last thing, I'm just like, you don't need to switch on. Just one last thing, Andrew. That was not just me, trying to be nice. You can reach out later, and I could try to, think of whom you to put in touch. And this is actually true for any of you guys who are listening to us right now, and to me right now, and maybe when it's recorded. So it might take me time. I wouldn't say that I can do this in a day, but I'm getting better and getting in the work vibe, and it might take me time, but I could try to put you in touch if there is any initiatives that you'd like to connect, or maybe if you have questions about any volunteers or organizations, maybe who reach out to you. I wouldn't try to dare to say that I know all Ukrainian initiatives right now, because we have tons. That's precisely why I'm telling you that Ukrainians are really good in. That's why we joke that that that's something Russians do not understand, that we don't have one center of decision making. Like, well, obviously we have something like that, probably like in military sense, but then we have all these separate units, and even in the civilian matter, I mean, like in terms of volunteering, that's absolutely like the case. We have like every Ukrainian I know is doing something, and usually not in one group. So everybody I know is doing something separate, not in a bad way, like separate, but kind of like something different, which means that you cannot really kill it off because everybody who is everybody separate Ukrainian will start doing something when it's needed, even if like somebody else couldn't do that. And it kind of just happens, and that's we have a lot of conflicting characteristic as Ukrainians. We have some trust issues sometimes because of our like past legacy, but what we are good at is this smaller like initiatives. We are like very active in that. And so it's not possible, humanly possible, to know everything that is happening because we have, even within the different districts of the city, we have very local like organizations, initiatives that could be caring for, I don't know, elderly people, or maybe just volunteering for helping with the food, or maybe helping with the animals. And then we have bigger ones. So that's why I might not know immediately, but I can try to ask because I think it will be easier for me anyway than for you if you're abroad. But as for finishing the question, Andrew, for the future when this quote quote end, well, it's your choice to reach out now or try to reach out later. I don't know what's going to be later. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but this is one of the problems when you live in war for such a long time. In one hand, you kind of need to plan and you kind of plan, but in the other, like in the same time, sometimes I don't know what's my plan for the day, not in a beautiful sense, but kind of like I'm just kind of focusing on what's next. So that's why it's pretty hard to plan that far, especially since it's so traumatic, to be honest. Not because it's bad when it ends, but it's just kind of because I'm not sure when, and even sometimes I'm not sure if. um that's the sad part. So, but you're still very welcome to reach out. Okay, I think Andrew left. I hope he but that's also true for you guys as well. Bob. Okay, Bob, I'm joining you in and I'm just quickly checking some of the comments. Okay, so it's so thank you SJ for the links. Just Bob, 1 second, 1 second. So somebody SJ shared pushing a door marked pull to open this person of the okay, that's funny. Okay, now I realize it. Okay, thank you very much. Starzy added, small organizations are always better because they are much more direct and faster. UN 24 was just the first I thought of. Thank you, Starzy. No, like that's a good thought. That's once again, I'm not trying to discredit. I could discredit UN though a bit, and Red Cross. I have questions to them, but I mean, like, I'm not trying to discredit fully. Like, I mean, some like like everybody does something. Okay, that didn't come out right. Anyway, I didn't mean to discredit per se. I just wanted to say that if you really like asking me, really asking me like what to do to make a difference, to change something, like to be sure that the money, concrete money you give in are not spent on something I don't know what's gonna spend, because like for bigger organizations, I'm not sure, I don't know how reporting works, but I'm not sure you can actually say like, oh, please provide me a report for this like 200 whatever, like I've even like any amount that I've sent, provide me the report, right? But smaller organizations, you can do that. You might not be able to say like report for that, but at least they will be able to show like, okay, we did that, like thanks to all of your donations, right? So you will need still to have some amount of trust. But let's be honest, with big organizations, like you also do that. And like people kind of automatically believe UN and Red Cross. And let's be honest, they're conflicting. Like you're probably seeing what they like. It's the same with HRV, HRW, Human Rights Watch, and like the Amnesty, who also like gathering like funding, like raising the donations for their work. Like we like, but still kind of like that's what I mean. Like you will need to have some amount of trust, but you also can ask for reports, like I said. And then all of the volunteers know about that. Usually volunteers, especially for foreigners, they will kind of like, well, at least something that I do. I usually offer that, like, no worries, I will provide you some kind of reports back. So Stars also shared. I'm currently studying Ukrainian language. Any websites or anything you recommend? Well, I would recommend I will like it depends your style like whether you want a teacher or you want to learn on your own. If you're just starting Duolingo is like there are a few questions but it's pretty good. But there were actually many other great recommendations. I need to have a good list of that. Thank you for reminding me. But if anyone wants to recommend Starzy what to use to learn Ukrainian, feel free to go in comments. I mean, what helped you guys, right? What you using it, what you learn it with. Okay. I think that's it for now. I think, and thank you. We've been trying to reach you. Thank you for the link as well. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, great, Bob. I'm sorry for the wait. Thank you for waiting. And did you swear a lot this week, my
Well,
child?
there was a situation that I wanted to ask your input on um, how you might swear about it in Ukrainian. But first, I thought I would try pronunciation from a phrase you mentioned last time. So, is it "nihuya sobi"?
Ah,
All
yeah.
right,
Yeah, that's a good
all right,
one. Yeah, Nihuya
okay,
Sube. Yeah, that's a good
all right.
one. Do you remember the case when to use it?
Well, it's like an well, I feel weird even swearing, in English in this case, but it's like "f me," like a bad situation, right?
Yeah, but it also can be like kind of slightly okay. It can be like, whoa, no Nihuya
Uh-huh.
Sube. So like I don't know, something which is like it's not as awesome as like yeah, I wouldn't say it's awesome, but it could be like neutral
Okay.
surprising. So I would be like not exactly bad, but yeah, that's a good one. Thank you,
All
Bob.
right. Yeah.
Nihuyasubi.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
my tempo on that needs maybe a little bit of adjustment. But as far as what happened this week, and we've kind of been talking about bad behavior on the part of men. I was at the gym yesterday, and there's etiquette in the gym where you should re-rack your weights, like take the weights off of the machine and put them back where they came from.
Mm,
And I saw this guy who was working out slowly and kind of doing multiple stations and tying up two stations at the same time, and then exercising wrong,
mm.
and then just walked away and left,
That always happens,
and then
right?
left
That
like
always happens.
piles of weights on the machine.
Ah,
And I guess in English I would have just said like, "What a jackass!" I would have said that to myself.
mm.
So, what would someone say in Ukrainian in this case?
I would say mudak. No mudak.
Yeah,
Mudak. Mudak.
mudak,
Mudak.
mudak,
Yeah, mudak.
mudak,
Moo like moo and duck
mudak.
like quack.
Yeah. Okay.
Mudak. Well, that probably depends who you ask. I think that's just like you said, and immediately that's the one I went to. I probably could say kozel,
Uh-huh.
which is just goat, just Ukrainian for goat. But I think like I would probably immediately go for mudak, and it's actually not very kind of vulgar, but it's not that vulgar as Nihuyasubi. So you're kind of even in a safe zone. But though, if this person is from, if they understand Russian or Ukrainian, you might be in trouble because that's pretty
Is
insulting
it?
anyway. Yeah. So I would say like, yeah, it is. It's not like I don't know, not like Huyibane, which is like fucking
Uh-huh.
dick, but a bit stronger. So, but it's pretty insulting. Like I wouldn't call my friend Mudak.
No. Okay.
So Mudak, I would call him only if I want to bring him attention that he's behaving stupidly and he's like losing something important. But it's still insulting. So
Okay.
yeah, but I mean, it's like you need to know these words. I'm not sure, by the way. Some of the words I know that Poland will know, like like Ibani, people from Poland and Romania, and probably Slovakia. I'm not sure. Like my understand, I'm not sure about Mudak here though,
Okay.
so you might be safe there, or you might try and tell me how it went.
I think I'm probably safe using it here, but Yeah.
Okay, you can do that. You can do that. Yeah, but thank you. Like you have nice pronunciation on Nihuyasabi. Pretty
Okay.
impressed.
Thanks.
Okay, sure. Okay, thank you for
Yep.
joining, Bob. And yeah, so I'm gonna be slightly wrapping up. I know from my side, so I wanted to release a bit more of the swearing packs, but I kind of feel that I'm like getting into the place where I can actually write bigger stuff again, because I think kind of the events of these 3 weeks kind of wrecked me a little bit. But I'm getting better. I think I had kind of, I wouldn't call it a vision, but I had kind of a moment when I kind of felt that my friend is okay yesterday. Well, I mean, as okay as can be. So I think it helped me. So I think I'm kind of getting back. That is my way to see. Sorry, I haven't released more of the swearing Ukrainian packs, but I will. And as for today, I'm gonna leave you with. We had few great swearings today. Not gonna put them in the comments to be honest. Just gonna leave it here. But we had a great one with Yoban Rusnya, which you guys probably know already. There it was Yoban Peklo, which is basically fucking hell. So very fitting when it's very hot. There was also Nihuyasubi that Bob just used, and that's a great one. Like, basically, yeah, fuck me. When something surprising happens, usually like a bit bad, but it could also be like kind of just surprising and neutral. It could be even a bit good, so it depends. You can try it out how it works for you. And I'm gonna leave you with my new favorite that I'm using recently. It's Yibane Hui. I'm using it actually, as I realized, for the oh, actually, there'll be two favorites, right, of this week. So Yibane, who is basically instead of fuck. Okay, I'm gonna write it down. I just realized that it's good for you to have it. So it's Yibane Hui. It's kind of like fucking dick, but it's not in this way. So I think I will just. I think it's like fucking hell, Yibane Hui, but technically Hui is a dick. So that's why translation doesn't really work. That's the problem. So why it works, but like that's rather adaptation than translation. So it's Yibani Hui, and I'm not sure how good Twitter knows who, so I'm having an asterisk. So it's I'm using this fucking hell. I'm using Yabane Hui. Who is penis, right? In swearing Ukrainian, just so you know, it's like fucking penis actually, but I mean fucking hell. And okay, I'm gonna add Yobane Paclo, which was easy earlier, right? Oh my god, have Italian instead of English. Oh my god. What the fuck? What the fuck? I also do what the fuck a lot, by the way, like or fuck. So I'm doing that as well. So Yobane Paclo. Okay, Yobane Paclo. Oh, a lot of fucking hell. It's also fucking help. Okay, but fucking hot, like hell. Okay, let's do it this way. Okay, there was another one which was Nihuyasubi that Bob used today. Nihuyasubi, which is basically fuck me. Okay, almost done. Almost done. Nihuya sobi. Okay, nihuya. What the fuck? Okay, nihuya sobi. Okay, and the last one, the last one, but not the least, is the one that I used throughout the whole funeral of my friend. Is havno. 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 It's literally shit. Just literally shit. It's technically insulting, not that insulting, not that swearing as the sex related group, right? Like ibach, who, all that. But yeah, but it's literally shit, and yeah, I just use it like sucks. It was the word of the day for me. Yeah, so should be careful when you use that if people can understand, because technically it can apply to situation, right? So I was standing in that bar and I said like no, and then I needed to like, oh my god, no, your food is awesome, like everything is great, like the drinks are awesome, just like they I just feel shit. So that's it. That's for this week. Yeah, so for okay, so I think the one who had question, okay, Starzy probably left. Okay, so if you want, you can share also in comments, where do you learn Ukrainian? If you learn Ukrainian, what helps you, like what apps, what websites, because sometimes I have questions about that, and I would love to share something from your experience, not just something like that I think is working, but something that you feel is working for you, so that I can share it around. Okay, I'm gonna finish here because I feel that my throat is getting like sore. So I'm gonna wrap it up here, and I want to thank you again for joining. As always, kind of reminder that feel free to support our initiative for the kids. So September is getting closer. So I would love to get back to our therapy sessions for our kids in from Kherson region. They're gonna be 1 year older. Oh my god, they're gonna be 13. Wow, that's tough. I just realized that's a tough age. Okay, they're gonna need some more therapy. Oh my god. Oh my god, I freak out now. Anyway, feel free if you want to support some initiative and you didn't know what. Feel free to use. Yeah, if PayPal works for you, PayPal is a bit better because just logistically a bit easier. Because I will just send it directly from the PayPal to the person. But if not, use Buy Me a Coffee. I know, I'm mad about what they did with Ukraine. Not with Ukraine. They didn't do it with Ukraine. I'm not trying to justify, but they did it with this provider. So it's unfortunately, it's not in news that Ukraine has we didn't have PayPal really for a long time, so we have them just recently. But I have a way to work it out because of my previous work abroad. So you can still use Buy Me Coffee for supporting initiative I'm engaging with. Unfortunately, for other Ukrainian accounts, you need to double check because it really depends what ways these people have and whether it's working for them. I'm mad, yes, but also I'll be honest, I'm pretty grateful for the work, for the support they did before it. So it's been a really good service for these 2 years for me, and so it's hard for me to say only bad stuff about them. So they've been pretty good. So unfortunate that they decided to disengage with that service right now. But that's all I'm gonna say here. But again, as for other Ukrainian accounts, that if you're supporting them, you should double check. But I think some of them will go to Patreon. But I just want to stress that Patreon was a shit to one of the big Ukrainian initiatives. I think they kind of sorted that out, but there was a really weird situation. They kind of just hold the money and didn't give them back. So I would like, let's just put it this way: all of these providers can create weird situations. So, but just yeah, so just we kind of navigating between them. I had the question from like, is it the fault of Buy Me a Coffee of providers that supports them? They officially said that it's they disengaging working with the buys. So basically, and something else, there's something that was basically making it possible to work with Ukraine. There is another way to do that using Stripe, but Stripe, there is really complicated thing with Stripe, so it's not that uh, shared as PayPal, if I can put it this way. So, but yeah, this is unfortunate considering how many Ukrainian accounts were on Buy Me Coffee. I don't know, I'm not part of Buy Me Coffee. I have no idea what's behind the decision, beside the fact what they said in the email they sent everybody who is in Buy Me Coffee, basically. But yeah, certainly many of us will need to find other ways to do that. Anyway, I'm stopping here. Thanks again for joining. Just wanted to clarify this thing because many of you asked me, but I probably will do a separate post when I get my shit together because I managed to get some sleep today, but honestly, to be waking up by siren twice in a row is a bit shitty. Okay, one I see some comments here. I will try to check it out. No, 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 no more comments. Okay, I'm sorry if I haven't seen some of your comments. I will get back to it and answer later. And what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? No, I think that's yeah, I think that's it. And as always, if you want to support my reporting, you know how to do that. And just a quick thanks to you guys who's been, sending me coffee and sending me good words during these days. I haven't answered as much to these things as I usually do, but just it's been a bit tough. But I'm really, really thankful. You guys in this podcast, as well as those who might listen later, and all of my followers. I feel like all of my readers. I feel that you guys helped me to kind of get through. I'm still not through. I'm still getting through, but I kind of felt it was something that grounded me. Like just when my mom died, actually, I had a podcast just 2 days after that, and I thought for a second to cancel it because of how a mess I was. But then I actually felt that this is something that I can hold on to in a way. And it wasn't the best podcast. I think it was just like 30 minutes or something. So it was like 3 weeks ago, but it helped me, and because what helps you is something to hold on to in a way, like something to continue doing. And so that is absolutely not something I thought when I just started it, kind of impulsively, but I am thankful for that. Thank you for sharing your time and energy with me and your thoughts and experiences, and coming here and joining me, and like and then sharing some awesome comebacks. I mean, like, Janina, I remember your great comeback. That's a good one. So yeah, so thank you for that. Thank you for your ongoing support. Thank you for trusting me and believing in me. And yeah, I'm gonna finish here, and I'm gonna see you next week, you guys. At the same time, same place.